Hi, I'm Travis Harrison, and I'm joined by Simon here, who's the founder and CEO of the company. And we're going to talk through a bit of the questionnaire that we go through in order to get the snowboard. So right now, I've filled out my questionnaire, I've gone through some key elements, and now we need to have a little bit of a one-on-one to delve deeper into what I actually want out of my snowboard. And for you guys who are building snowboards, we want to make sure that you're going to be giving Simon and the Savage Panda crew the right information to make your board as personal as possible. So 8 key elements, that's what we've gone through.
Yeah, so there's 38 odd questions that you'll go through when you do the questionnaire, but one of the key ones for us is to look at the 8 key elements of the rider experience, because at Savage Panda, to build you the best custom snowboard we can, it's all about you, and we need to get to know you and get to know you really well. So these attributes help us to get a handle on what your riding style is all about. So the first one is about stability. So it's about how stable do you need to feel when you're riding. Because some people want to feel very stable, some people never want to be stable, they always want to be on the edge. So it's about understanding the stability that you feel that you need in your board.
So I suppose going through my one here, I want my board to be stable at high speeds.
Yep.
I want my board to be able to really hang on when we're going quick, and I can do those big carves and big turns and it not give way on me.
Yep.
But I could imagine that the average, an average snowboarder who's just really finding their way in the game of snowboarding, might want it a bit softer. They don't need that high speed stability, but they need it. Does that make sense?
That's right, and the problem is if we build you a stiffer board to give you that stability, you put an intermediate snowboarder on that stiff board on the green runs, and they're going to struggle because it's going to be too heavy for them. You're not going to be able to turn it easily enough. So it's about getting an understanding about how you want to ride. Feedback's the next one. So it's the amount of stress and response you get from your snowboard. Some people really like to feel and know what's going on with the board. Others don't want to know anything. They just want the board to do exactly what they want to do. So it's about what the board's giving back to you as the rider. That's the critical part.
Yeah, so I want feedback on my board.
Yep.
I want it to, as soon as I turn, I want to know I'm turning.
Yep.
I want to feel it through my feet. I want to be able to ride the board and it do what I want it to do when I ask it to.
Yep.
But I could imagine that if you got a board with way too much feedback, it could kick someone offline and they wouldn't enjoy the experience. But I want my board. I want to give me feedback.
Yeah, we're building boards for people who have been riding, who are intermediate snowboarders at best, who have been riding very light, high-end, technical snowboards from some of the production companies, and they wonder why they can't ride them because they're not there yet. Yeah. So it's about giving the person the board they need for the level of experience they've got. In your case, because they give you anything and you ride it, but it's about making sure we can get you the best experience as well.
Okay. Well, then that's speed there, because this is an interesting one then too, because as we might have previously talked about, that a board, if you've been your high-end board, it might be fast, it might have a top-end base, but a mid-range board mightn't have a top-end base. So, ultimately I want to go quick, I want a good base, but that average rider might want to go quick as well. So
yeah, that's right. And so when we talk to the customers about what base to put on their board, we have that conversation with them. And if an intermediate rider thinks, and we think that they're ready for a high-end race base, we'll put it on the board. The other thing too about glide is it's around the speed and the glide. It's around the capacity for people to hit the flats and manage their way through those as well. Which, if you're riding groomed around Australia, you're always flats to deal with. So it's about how we give you that precision as well. So accuracy is the next one. So it's the ease at which the board moves in response to you as a rider. So for you, that's really important.
Yeah.
Because you really want to know that the board's going to do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's important then that we get the nose and the tail right, and then we get the side cut right to fit you in terms of how we shape the core and how we then build the board.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're rocking down through those tree runs and you're trying to make it between trees, you want that thing, doing what you tell it to do.
Exactly. The next one is forgiveness. So when you make a mistake, how good is the board at forgiving you for that and not throwing you into the tree?
Yeah.
And again, this varies significantly for people. People who are learning, or people who are intermediate riders who want that safety and stability, want the board to be able to forgive them for not necessarily having great technique. But for someone like you, you've got the capability to make the board pretty much do whatever it needs. So for you, the board being able to forgive you for an error you've got the capability intuitively in your riding to be able to get yourself out of that anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So very important to you.
I've seen many a snowboarder get on a board that's not very forgiving, and it just kicks them out everywhere.
Yep.
But in saying that, if I get in the back seat, I should be able to get myself out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Edge grip. Edge grip's the next one.
Yeah, so it's always an interesting one. It's about how does the individual, how important is the gripping of that edge into the snow. Particularly important in Australian conditions because we get the hard groom, we get the groom stuff, we get the hard packed. And a lot of people just don't have the technique to be able to handle that really icy, hard snow. So again, we need to understand that, to understand what edges to put on the board, what to dial the side cut at. Because if that's really, really important for people, then we need to give them a board that will allow them to handle that easily.
Perfect. Well, I can imagine if they're riding through the park and they're trying to hit jumps, you don't necessarily want high-end edge grip. You might be one of the best riders going around, but if you're trying to slide it off the edge into a spin, this might be an area that we actually, we just dial back just a little bit. But I think edge grip for me, I want it to be pretty grippy, but it's not my number one one aspect.
Yeah, no, good.
So manoeuvrability.
Yeah, so again, this is about responsiveness. It's about how quickly the board responds to your needs and your requirements.
Yeah.
So when you drive that knee and you drive that into that turn, that really fast turn, you want to know that the board's going to go with you and not wash out at the back or give on the nose. So again, it's about how we design the core, how we design the board to make sure it doesn't do that.
Yeah, perfect. I could imagine this would relate back to where they're riding as well. If they're riding Japanese trees the whole time, it's got to be manoeuvrable. Although if they're riding Alaska or they're riding somewhere really big mountains, it might need to be as manoeuvrable. It might need to be more stable and floating longer. So I'm sure this relates to your lengths and widths as well.
Absolutely. So it's critical. Like in deep powder in Japan, then you are in the trees most of the time. When you go to Alaska, it's pretty hard to find a tree sometimes because it's all at the top of the mountain. So it's about understanding where you're going to ride and therefore how we design the board to make it fit where you're going to go.
Perfect.
And this one will be key for you, transition smoothness. So it's how that board transitions from edge to edge. So it's a really kind of surfer thing to me. When you surf, you never stay flat and stable. You're always looking for that transition of edge to edge. And some snowboarders just love to do that. Transition all the time. Some people like big, slow carves. Some people like straight lining. So it's about how important that is to an individual. How do we then build that into the design? Yeah,
and I think perfect. The person who loves to go up there down Wombat and straight line it, the transition is not as much as a key for them. They want their board to ride straighter. Where I love to be edge to edge, and don't ever want to lay a flat base. Always want to be making a turn.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm with you. So board liveliness is the last one. So this is a pretty common one. It's about the pop of the spring.
Yeah.
So how if you want to kick an ollie, you want to come off a jump, you want to do that sort of thing. How flexible and how springy do you want that board to be? And this one's kind of critical for us in terms of how we design the core profile to make sure that we can get the right level of pop. Some people don't want any, some people want the board to do nothing but pop. So again, it's around getting the balance. And really in all of these 8, if we can get the balance right around these, add where the person's going to ride the board, add the experience that they've had, that allows us to then really craft the core of the board and the materials and the shape of the board to really go a long way to make sure that board actually delivers what you want as an individual rider.
Perfect. And I think especially that last one, the liveliness with the pop, I've asked you to make me something really stable, but I also said I want my board to ollie. I want to be able to jump that rope when I'm hooking around the mountain. So I think it was really interesting in the core of the board of how you did that for me, where you've made it thicker in certain areas, thinner in other areas, so I can still pop it, but then it's stable in the areas I want it. So,
and that's a great example of how we've taken the feedback from you in the questionnaire and in the design consultation conversations we've had, and actually created in the core of the board a